A millionaire took a recycling collector to his ex's engagement party, and what she did drove him crazy. Before we start the story, leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. And at the end, don't forget to rate this story from 0 to 10. Enjoy the story. This has to be a joke, shouted Oliver Grant, slamming the golden envelope on the glass table. Just a few months after we broke up, and she's already sending me an invitation to her engagement party? The invitation was right there, teasing him with its shiny gold finish and expensive perfume. At the top, the names Kimberly and Simon stood out like a bad joke. She's completely lost her shame, Oliver muttered, running his hand through his hair, clearly furious. A few months, Ethan. Just a few months. His assistant Ethan walked into the room holding a coffee cup, wearing an amused smile. Well, boss, at least she sent you an invitation. Imagine finding out on Instagram instead. Oliver turned around abruptly. You think this is funny? A little, yeah. Ethan replied, trying not to laugh. So, are you going? Of course I'm going. Oliver snapped back defiantly, but I'm not going alone. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Oh, I see. Trying to make an impression, huh? Show you've moved on? Exactly, said Oliver. If I show up alone, I'll look pathetic. But boss, who are you going to take? Ethan teased. As far as I know, you're all alone. Emotionally, let's just say, cast list is empty. I don't care. Oliver shot back, grabbing his car keys angrily. I'll take any crazy woman I can find. Ethan burst out laughing. Oh, I have to see this. You and a crazy lady. That's going to be pure entertainment. Oliver gave him a deadly glare and stormed out, pride clearly wounded. Minutes later, Oliver was driving, trying to calm his anger. Needing to cool off, he pulled over near a park. He took a deep breath, leaned his head back, and then, clang! The metallic sound echoed like a gunshot. Oliver's eyes flew open as he jumped out of the car. On the hood, a crushed aluminum can was gleaming in the sunlight, along with a nasty scratch. No way, he shouted, stunned. This has to be some kind of cosmic joke. On the nearby sidewalk, a woman lifted her head from inside a blue recycling bin. Her hair was in a messy bun, her gloves were torn, and her cart was filled with bottles. Her face showed a mix of surprise and annoyance. Oh man, Luna Carter muttered, raising her hands. Sorry, mister. I didn't see you park there. Oliver pointed at the car. You just threw a can at the hood of a car worth more than your whole block. Luna raised an eyebrow. Wow, congratulations. Won a trophy for that. I should sue you, he snapped. Go ahead, but all you'll get is a payment in plastic bottles and maybe a smile, she said, sarcastically. Oliver huffed, stunned. Do you know how much it'll cost to fix this? No idea, she said, folding her arms. But if I had the money, I'd pay, honestly. There was a brief silence. Her sincere look caught him off guard for a moment, but then the crazy idea hit him, brilliant and ridiculous at the same time. He narrowed his eyes. You know what? Maybe you can pay in another way. Luna took a step back, suspicious. Hold on, rich guy. What do you mean by another way? It's not what you're thinking, he said quickly, raising his hands. Good, because for a second, I thought I'd have to hit you with another can. Oliver sighed, trying to explain. Since you can't pay in cash, you'll pay by being my date. Date, she repeated, laughing. To what? To my ex-fiancé's engagement party. Luna blinked, confused, then burst out laughing. Wait, what? You want to take a recycling collector to your ex's engagement party? Exactly. She laughed even harder. Wow, you're completely nuts, Oliver smirked. If you put on a nice dress, you might even look cute. Luna stared at him, pretending to be offended. Cute? So, you're not only crazy, you're rude too? Just being honest. She crossed her arms, still laughing. Okay, let's say I agree. What's in it for me? $5,000. Her laughter stopped instantly. How much? 5,000. Just to come with me and pretend you like me. Luna blinked. Are you serious? Completely. She looked at the car, then at him, then at her recycling cart. Let me get this straight. I dress up, pretend to be your girlfriend, go to a party full of snobs, and I get $5,000? That's right, she gave a sly smile. All right, millionaire, you just hired the most honest recycling lady in New York. So we have a deal? Deal. But just so you know, I say exactly what I think. Great, he said, opening the car door. I need someone real. Luna smiled. Well, you just found her. As she pushed the cart, Oliver watched through the rearview mirror. A crazy idea, an unpredictable woman, and a revenge plan about to spiral out of control. He had no idea that this fender bender would completely change his life. 2 days later, Oliver parked in front of an upscale building in downtown Manhattan. Luna got out of the car, looking around suspiciously. "This place looks too expensive to even breathe in," she said, adjusting her worn-out backpack. "It is," Oliver replied, walking toward the entrance. "Come on. We've got a lot to do." Luna followed him, mumbling, "Work? I thought I just had to wear a dress and smile." "If it were that easy, I could have taken anyone," he said, pressing the elevator button. "But you have to be believable." "Believable as what? That I like you?" She crossed her arms. "Because I haven't decided yet if I like you or if I just think you're kind of annoying." Oliver rolled his eyes, but a smile crept onto his face. "You're brutally honest." "That's my charm," Luna said, stepping into the elevator. The doors opened on the 10th floor, revealing a spacious, well-lit room. Mannequins dressed in designer clothes decorated the space, and a tall woman with perfect hair and a serious expression stood waiting for them. "Oliver, darling," the woman exclaimed, dramatically opening her arms. "It's been forever." "Hello, Victoria," Oliver greeted her, kissing her cheek. "Thanks for agreeing to help on such short notice." Victoria looked Luna up and down, inspecting every detail with a sharp eye. "So this is the candidate?" Luna narrowed her eyes. "Candidate? I'm not auditioning for anything." Victoria blinked, surprised. "Oh, she's got personality. That could be good or terrible. We'll see." Oliver cleared his throat. "Victoria's a personal stylist. She'll help you with clothes, hair, makeup, everything." Luna looked around, still wary. "All this just for a party?" "It's not just any party," Oliver explained. "It's a high society event. Everyone there will look flawless." "Oh, I get it," Luna said sarcastically. "So I have to pretend to be perfect to impress a bunch of snobs?" Victoria let out a short laugh. "I like her. Let's get started." The next few hours were a full-on marathon. Victoria brought out dresses, shoes, accessories, and more dresses. Luna tried on each one with a mix of confusion and dread. "This thing is crushing my ribs," Luna complained, trying to adjust a tight red dress. "That's because you're not breathing right," Victoria said, fixing the fabric. "Breathe from your diaphragm." "I breathe however my lungs let me," Luna shot back, pulling the dress off. "Next." Oliver watched from a cozy couch, barely holding back his laughter. He'd never seen someone resist a makeover this much. "Is she always like this?" Victoria whispered. "I have no idea," Oliver replied. "I met her 2 days ago." Victoria's eyes widened. "You're kidding." "I never kid," he said, dead serious. After 5 more dresses, Luna finally stood in front of the mirror wearing a simple, elegant emerald green dress. She spun around, curiously studying her reflection. "This one's not bad," she admitted, surprised. "I look different." "You look lovely," Victoria said, clearly pleased. "See, that wasn't so hard." "Not hard?" Luna turned to her, shocked. "I tried on 1,000 dresses. My feet are about to quit on me." Oliver laughed out loud. "Welcome to the world of high society women." "Thanks, but I'm turning down that invitation," Luna said, carefully removing the dress. "I'll stick to my old jeans." Victoria sighed dramatically. "Sweetheart, you've got potential. You just need a little polish." "Polish?" Luna laughed. "I'm a person, not a piece of furniture." Next came the real challenge, shoes. Victoria brought out a huge box filled with shiny high heels. Luna looked at them like they were torture devices. "You want me to walk in those?" "It's not that hard," Victoria said, picking up a pair of gold stilettos. "It just takes practice." Luna slipped on the shoes and tried to take a step. She wobbled and nearly fell. Oliver jumped up and grabbed her arm. "Easy," he said, laughing. "You're not going to die." "Easy for you to say." Luna clung to his arm. "You're wearing normal shoes. Want me to wear heels too?" Oliver joked. "Yes, so you can feel my pain," she replied, laughing. Victoria clapped her hands to get their attention. "Focus, everyone. Luna, you need to practice walking in those shoes." For the next 20 minutes, Luna walked around the room, stumbling, laughing, and complaining. Oliver watched her, fascinated by her determination. Even while complaining, she didn't give up. "All done," Luna finally said after managing to cross the room without wobbling. "I deserve a prize. The prize is not breaking your ankle at the party," Victoria said as she put the shoes away. Then came the etiquette lesson. Victoria sat Luna at the table and began explaining the basic rules for formal events. "Fork on the left is for salad, fork on the right is for the main course," Victoria explained, pointing to the silverware. Luna looked at the table full of utensils and sighed. Why so many forks? Isn't one enough? Tradition, Victoria replied patiently. Ridiculous tradition, Luna muttered. Oliver, sitting next to her, tried not to laugh. You need to pay attention. I am paying attention, Luna protested. But this is way too complicated. Fork here, fork there. It's like a guessing game, Victoria continued, undeterred. And remember, never talk with your mouth full, don't rest your elbows on the table, and always keep the napkin on your lap. Luna rolled her eyes. So many rules, it feels like I'm stepping into a minefield. More or less, Oliver said with a smile. Great, Luna replied sarcastically. Can't wait to step on every mine. Victoria sighed, but there was a playful sparkle in her eyes. You're a very interesting student. Thanks, I think, Luna said, purposely picking up the wrong fork. What's this one for again? Luna, Victoria exclaimed, taking the fork out of her hand. Oliver burst out laughing. It had been a long time since he'd had that much fun. Luna had a way of turning any situation into comedy. Hours later, as the day came to an end, Luna was exhausted but satisfied. Victoria let her go with a tired smile. You survived. Congratulations, Victoria said. Barely, Luna replied, rubbing her feet. But I survived. Oliver walked her to the car. The silence between them now felt comfortable. Something had shifted. Thanks for today, Luna said, looking out the window. It was different. You're welcome, Oliver replied. You did well. Even though I complained about everything? She asked with a smile. Especially because of that, he said sincerely. Luna looked at him, curious. You're weird, you know that? I've been told that before, Oliver admitted, laughing. They drove in silence for a few minutes until Luna broke the mood. By the way, where is this party going to be? At the Grand Lexington Hotel, Oliver answered casually. Luna froze. Wait, the Grand Lexington? Yes, why? She swallowed hard. Because I work there, Oliver frowned, confused. What do you mean you work there? I clean the trash bins at the hotel, Luna explained, avoiding his eyes. I go twice a week to collect the recycling. Oliver stayed quiet, trying to process it. So you know the place, he finally said. I do, Luna confirmed, still looking out the window. But only through the back door. There was a heavy pause. Oliver understood the weight of her words. Luna wasn't just going to a party, she was entering a world that had always kept her on the outside. This time you're going through the front door, Oliver said firmly. Luna turned to him, surprised. Really? Really, he confirmed with a smile. And you're going to shine. She smiled back, but there was a mix of nerves and hope in her eyes. For the first time, Luna realized this was more than just an agreement. It was a chance to see the other side, and maybe, just maybe, discover something new about herself. The night of the engagement party arrived with a starry sky over Manhattan. Oliver pulled up in front of the Grand Lexington Hotel, and Luna took a deep breath before getting out of the car. The emerald green dress fit her perfectly, and the golden shoes sparkled under the hotel lights. She felt strange, like she was wearing a costume. Ready? Oliver asked, offering his arm. Not at all, Luna replied, taking his arm. But let's go. They walked toward the main entrance. Luna looked at the revolving doors and remembered the times she passed by carrying trash bags. Now she was walking in as a guest. Just breathe, Oliver whispered, sensing her tension. I am breathing, Luna snapped nervously. I'm just trying not to trip over these killer heels. As they entered the ballroom, Luna was hit by a wave of luxury. Crystal chandeliers hung from the ceiling, tables decorated with white and gold flowers filled the space, and the guests wore outfits that probably cost more than her annual rent. Wow, Luna whispered, impressed. This looks like a movie set. It's a bit over the top, isn't it? Oliver said, smiling. A bit? Luna looked around. This is over the top, even for people who like over the top. A waiter walked by with a tray of champagne. Luna grabbed a glass and took a sip, making a face. This tastes like… I don't know. Expensive glitter? Oliver laughed. It's French champagne. French or not, it's still weird, she said, putting the glass back on the tray. As they walked through the hall, Luna drew attention, not because of her outfit or beauty, but because of how natural she was. She smiled at the waiters, thanked people as they passed by, and made funny comments that eased any tension. This place is beautiful, but I bet no one here knows where the trash goes. Luna whispered to Oliver. Probably not, he agreed, amused. Suddenly a high-pitched female voice echoed through the hall. Oliver, what a surprise to see you here. Luna turned and saw a stunning blonde woman in a flawless white dress. It was Kimberly, Oliver's ex-fiancée. Standing next to her was a tall man with a fake smile and a smug look, Simon, the former business partner. Kimberly walked over with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. I thought you wouldn't come. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Oliver replied calmly. Kimberly looked Luna up and down, inspecting every detail. And who is this charming creature? Luna caught the sting in the word creature, but smiled. I'm Luna. His girlfriend. Kimberly blinked, surprised. Girlfriend? That was fast, Oliver. You always were efficient. Thank you. Oliver's tense. Simon stepped closer, placing a hand on Kimberly's shoulder. Oliver, my old friend. Good to see you. Simon, Oliver greeted him coldly. And this is your new companion? Simon asked, looking at Luna with barely hidden disdain. Girlfriend, Luna corrected firmly. I'm not a companion. I'm his girlfriend. Kimberly let out a high, fake laugh. How sweet. Where did you two meet? Luna opened her mouth to answer, but Oliver jumped in. We met by chance, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Kimberly raised an eyebrow, clearly bothered. How romantic. It is, Luna said with a smile. He's full of surprises. The tension in the air was thick. Kimberly forced a smile and walked away with Simon, but not before giving Luna a cutting glance. She's lovely, Luna said sarcastically. Like a charming snake, Oliver laughed. You're amazing. I know, Luna replied, confident. As the night went on, Luna kept drawing attention. She chatted with the waiters like they were old friends, cracked jokes that made people laugh for real, and disarmed everyone with her authenticity. At one point, a waiter brought over a tray of appetizers. Luna took one and took a bite, then made another face. What is this? She asked, struggling to swallow. Caviar, the waiter answered, smiling. Caviar? Luna looked at the bite. Tastes like salty ocean. The waiter laughed. That's pretty much it. Then why is it so expensive? Luna asked, genuinely puzzled. Oliver, standing next to her, tried not to laugh. It's a delicacy. Delicacy or not, I'd rather have pizza, Luna said, putting the canapé back. The guests around them laughed, clearly charmed by her honesty. Luna had a gift for making people feel at ease, but it wasn't all fun. Kimberly kept an eye on Luna from a distance, clearly annoyed by the attention she was getting. At one point, Kimberly walked over to a group where Luna was chatting. Luna, darling, Kimberly said sweetly, though insincerely. Tell me, what do you do for a living? Luna sensed the trap, but didn't flinch. I work in recycling. Kimberly's eyes widened dramatically. Recycling? What do you mean? I collect recyclable materials, Luna explained calmly. Bottles, cans, cardboard, that kind of thing. Kimberly let out a loud laugh. Oh, I see. You're, how should I put it, a collector? The group fell silent, clearly uncomfortable. Luna felt the weight of the judgment, but kept her composure. Yes, I am, Luna said, raising her chin. And I'm proud of it. I help the planet and make a living. What do you do besides spending his money? The reply was quick and sharp. Kimberly was speechless, and the guests nearby tried not to laugh. Oliver watched from a distance, torn between pride and admiration. Luna didn't need anyone to defend her. She could handle herself. Simon, noticing Kimberly's embarrassment, walked over to Oliver with a smug grin. So, Oliver, a recycling collector? Interesting choice. Better than some choices I made in the past, Oliver replied, looking straight at Simon. Simon chuckled, but there was tension in his eyes. You've always had unusual taste, and you've always had a talent for being annoying, Oliver replied, tired of the provocation. Simon patted him on the shoulder. Relax, man. It's just a party. Oliver stepped away, looking for Luna. He found her on the terrace, alone, gazing out at the city. Are you all right? He asked as he approached. I'm fine, Luna replied without taking her eyes off the view. I just needed some air. Sorry about Kimberly. She can be difficult. Difficult is putting it mildly, Luna said with a laugh. But I handled it. Oliver smiled. You were amazing in there. Thank you. Luna finally looked at him. But all of this feels strange, you know? I don't belong in this world. No one really does, Oliver said honestly. Most people are just pretending. Luna was about to respond when an elegant woman approached. It was Jennifer, a close friend of Kimberly's. Luna, right? Jennifer asked with a forced smile. Yes, Luna replied, a bit wary. Jennifer glanced around, making sure they were alone, then leaned in as if to share a secret. Look, I don't want to interfere, but you seem like a nice girl. Thanks, Luna said, confused. Jennifer sighed. It's just, everyone here knows Oliver still loves Kimberly. You've noticed that, haven't you? Luna felt her chest tighten. What? It's obvious, Jennifer went on, her tone sharp. He only brought you here to make her jealous. You're just a distraction, sweetie. A toy he'll toss aside when he's done. Luna stood silent, trying to process her words. But Jennifer didn't stop. You two don't even seem like a real couple. He's using you to get back at her. I bet the moment she wants him back, he'll drop you without thinking twice. The words cut deep. Luna felt a wave of anger, sadness, and humiliation. Suddenly, everything made sense. The sudden invitation, the strange agreement, the rush to bring her to the party. She had been used. Jennifer smiled, clearly pleased with the damage she'd done. Just thought you should know. Luna didn't reply. She simply turned and walked off the terrace, crossing the room quickly. Oliver saw her from afar and tried to catch up. Luna, wait! But she didn't stop. Luna grabbed her bag, walked through the ballroom, and left through the front doors without looking back. The doorman tried to ask if she was all right, but Luna just shook her head and vanished into the night. Oliver ran after her, but by the time he reached the street, Luna was gone. He looked around, desperate, but she had completely disappeared. He went back inside, confused and worried. What had happened? Why did she leave like that? Oliver spent the rest of the night distracted, unable to stop thinking about Luna. When he finally left, he drove in silence, deep in thought. Something had changed, and he needed to find out what. Morning sunlight filled Luna's small apartment, but she barely noticed. She had spent the night wide awake, replaying every word Jennifer said, every look from Kimberly, every moment with Oliver. It had all been a lie, a cruel game. She got up, got dressed for work, and grabbed her recycling cart. Her routine was her refuge. Pushing the cart through the streets, collecting bottles and cans, sorting the materials, it was simple, honest, and real. Everything that party wasn't. Morning, Luna, called Tom, the owner of the corner store, waving. Morning, Tom, she replied, forcing a smile. You okay? You look tired. I'm fine, Luna lied, adjusting her gloves. Just didn't sleep well. Tom didn't seem convinced, but didn't push. Luna kept going, pushing the cart along the familiar sidewalks. Every street, every corner felt like home. This was where she belonged, not in fancy ballrooms with crystal chandeliers and fake people. So why did her chest feel so tight? She stopped in front of a blue bin, opened it, and started sorting the recyclables. Plastic bottles, aluminum cans, cardboard boxes. The mechanical routine helped calm her mind. Until an image broke through her thoughts. Oliver laughing when she complained about her shoes. Oliver holding her arm when she almost tripped. Oliver looking at her with that crooked smile that always disarmed her. Luna shook her head, frustrated with herself. Stop it, Luna. He used you. It was just a stupid game. But deep down, a part of her wasn't entirely sure. Across town, Oliver woke up with the same empty feeling. He hadn't slept well. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw Luna walking out of that party, disappearing into the night without a word. He grabbed his phone and called her for the 10th time. Voicemail. Again. Damn it, he muttered, tossing the phone onto the couch. Ethan walked in with a tray of coffee. Still no word from her? Nothing, Oliver replied, rubbing his face. She just vanished. And you have no idea what happened? None. Oliver stood up, restless. She was fine. We were talking on the terrace, and then suddenly she ran off. Ethan scratched his head, thinking, someone must have said something to her. What do you mean, what? Oliver looked at his assistant, frustrated. I need to talk to her, Ethan. I need to explain. Explain what, boss? Ethan asked carefully. That you only took her to the party to get back at your ex? Oliver said nothing. The truth hurt. That's exactly what he had done. But something had changed. Luna wasn't part of a plan anymore. She had become important. I messed everything up. Oliver admitted, defeated. Well, at least you're admitting it. Ethan said, sitting down. Now you've got to fix it. How? She's not answering my calls. Then go see her. Ethan suggested. You know where she works, don't you? Oliver thought for a moment. Luna had mentioned the streets where she collected recycling. Maybe there was still time to find her. He grabbed his car keys and left without looking back. He spent hours driving through the streets of Manhattan, looking for the blue recycling cart, searching for that determined woman pushing bottles and cans. But Luna seemed to have disappeared. Frustrated, Oliver pulled over and got out. He walked down the sidewalk, looking around. Then he saw it, a crushed aluminum can lying on the ground. He bent down and picked it up, looking at it with a sad smile. It was just like the one Luna had thrown on his car hood the day they met. That was the beginning of everything. Oliver slipped the can into his coat pocket. It was a reminder of how it all started and how badly he had ruined things. While Oliver searched for Luna, another storm was brewing. Kimberly was in her luxury apartment, flipping through bridal magazines when Simon walked in with a satisfied grin. "You're going to love this," he said, tossing his phone onto the table. Kimberly picked it up and read the headline from a gossip site. Her eyes lit up with mischief. "Perfect," she murmured, smiling. "Absolutely perfect." Simon sat beside her. "Now it's time for the next step." Kimberly nodded, thoughtful. "Let's destroy his image. And hers too." That afternoon, Kimberly made a few strategic calls. Journalists, magazine editors, popular bloggers. She carefully planted bits of information, always mixing a little truth with lies. It always worked. The next day, the bomb dropped. All the major news and gossip sites had the same headline: Kimberly Thompson announces temporary cancellation of wedding. The article featured emotional statements from Kimberly, blaming Oliver's emotional instability for the decision. According to her, Oliver hadn't moved on from their breakup and was interfering with her new relationship. "I still care about him," Kimberly said in the interview, eyes filled with tears. "But I need to move forward. I can't let his issues ruin my happiness." The story was perfect. Oliver was the villain, the obsessed ex who couldn't accept the end. Ethan walked into Oliver's office holding a tablet. "Boss, you need to see this." Oliver took the tablet and read the headline. His face turned red with anger. "That's a lie. I haven't even spoken to her since the party." "I know," Ethan replied calmly. "But the public doesn't." Oliver slammed the tablet on the table. "She's trying to destroy me. And she's succeeding," Ethan added, pointing to the comments. "Look what people are saying." Oliver scrolled through some of the comments. Most people believed Kimberly. He was being painted as the troubled ex-boyfriend who couldn't let go. "This is ridiculous," Oliver muttered, frustrated. But the worst was still to come. Luna was at home, sorting the bottles she had collected that day, when her phone started vibrating non-stop. Messages, calls, notifications. She picked it up, confused. The first message was from a friend. "Luna, did you see this?" She clicked the link and felt her stomach drop. On the screen was a photo of her at the engagement party, front and center on a popular gossip site. The headline read, "The woman who ruined the wedding of the year." The article was brutal. It described Luna as an opportunist who used Oliver for money and attention. It implied she had caused the breakup between Kimberly and her fiancé. "That's not true," Luna whispered, reading each word in shock. But people believed it. The comments were even worse. They called her a gold digger, a manipulator, a homewrecker. Luna's hands began to shake. She hadn't asked for any of this. She hadn't done anything wrong. But now she was exposed, judged, condemned by thousands of strangers who didn't even know her. Her phone rang. It was an unknown number. Luna hesitated, then answered. "Hello? Luna Carter?" said a male voice. "I'm with the Daily Gossip. We'd like to interview you about your relationship with Oliver Grant." Luna hung up right away, but the phone kept ringing. More calls, more questions, more intrusions. She turned off the phone and tossed it on the couch. The tears finally came, hot and angry. She had been used, humiliated, and now torn apart in public. All because of a stupid agreement. All because of Oliver Grant. Luna wiped her tears furiously. She wasn't going to let this break her. She had survived worse. She'd get through this too. But deep down, a quiet pain reminded her that, for a few days, she believed she could belong in that world. That she could be more than just a recycling collector. That maybe Oliver truly cared. But it had all been a lie. And now, she was alone, dealing with the fallout of a game she should have never played. Across the city, Oliver stood in his office, holding the aluminum can in his pocket, staring out the window. He knew he had to find Luna. He had to explain, he had to fix what went wrong. But how do you find someone who doesn't want to be found? And how do you explain something you barely understand yourself? In the days that followed, the headline about Luna spread like wildfire. The internet exploded with divided opinions. Some attacked her with cruel comments, calling her a gold digger and an opportunist. Others stood up for her. She was just living her life, one woman wrote on Twitter. Why blame her? I agree. The villain here is the ex-fiancé who planned the whole thing, someone replied. Luna read the comments on her phone, swinging between anger and relief. At least some people saw the truth, but it didn't erase the humiliation. She was home, sorting bottles, when her phone rang. It was Beth, her best friend. Luna, have you seen what's going on? Beth asked, excited. I have, and I'm not happy about it, Luna answered, tired. But half the internet is on your side, Beth said. People are sticking up for you everywhere. Great, Luna muttered, unenthusiastic. But the other half wants to hang me. Forget those people, Beth advised. They don't know you. Luna sighed. I just want this whole thing to be over. But things were far from over. That afternoon, Oliver received an invitation to appear on a live interview for a popular news show. Ethan convinced him it was the perfect chance to clear the air. You need to speak up, boss, Ethan insisted, and stand up for Luna too. Oliver agreed. He had to do something. He couldn't let Luna go through this mess alone. The show aired at 6 in the evening. Oliver sat in the studio, straightening his tie, while the host, Patricia Morgan, went over her notes. Ready, Oliver? Patricia asked with a professional smile. Ready, he replied, trying to sound calm. The interview started smoothly. Patricia asked about the canceled engagement with Kimberly and Oliver's relationship with Luna. He answered carefully, choosing his words. So Oliver, this young woman, Luna Carter, how did you two meet? Patricia asked. It was an unexpected meeting, Oliver said, smiling. She impressed me from the very first moment. And is it true she works in recycling? Yes, and I deeply admire the work she does, Oliver said sincerely. Patricia paused, checking her notes. But there are rumors that you took her to the party just to get back at your ex-fiancé. Is that true? Oliver hesitated. It was a trap. He had to be honest, but also protect Luna. Look, Patricia, at first, I admit my intentions weren't the best. But Luna is an incredible person. She changed how I see a lot of things. It was like a social experiment that turned out really well. The words came out wrong. He knew it instantly. Patricia's eyes widened, surprised. Social experiment? She repeated, intrigued. No, wait, that's not what I meant, Oliver tried to explain. But it was too late. The interview went on, but the damage was done. When it ended, Oliver walked out of the studio knowing he had made everything worse. And he was right. Hours later, news sites were running sensational headlines. Oliver Grant calls girlfriend a social experiment during live interview. Clips of the interview were edited, showing only the part where Oliver used that unfortunate phrase. It was completely taken out of context, but no one seemed to care. Luna saw the headline just as she was locking up her apartment to leave. She stopped, read the line again, and felt a wave of anger rise up. Social experiment, she shouted, throwing her phone on the couch. He called me a social experiment. Beth, who was visiting, tried to calm her down. Luna, take it easy. Maybe they twisted what he said. Context or not, he said it. Luna snapped, grabbing her jacket. I'm going over there to give that idiot a piece of my mind. Luna, wait. Beth called after her, but it was already too late. Luna had stormed out the door. 20 minutes later, Luna burst into Oliver's office. The receptionist tried to stop her, but Luna pushed right past, determined. Where is he? Luna asked, looking around. I'm sorry, ma'am, but Mr. Grant is in a meeting. The receptionist began. I don't care, Luna interrupted, throwing open the main office door. Oliver was sitting at his desk talking to Ethan when Luna barged in like a whirlwind. He stood up right away, surprised. Luna, I can explain. Social experiment? She shouted, throwing her purse on the floor. Am I a social experiment to you? Oliver raised his hands, trying to calm things down. That's not what I meant. I said it wrong. Said it wrong or finally said the truth? Luna challenged, arms crossed. Ethan, sensing the tension, tried to slip out quietly, but Luna stopped him. Stay right there. You're part of this circus too. Ethan froze, glancing at Oliver with a look that said, You deal with this. Oliver stepped toward Luna, trying to get closer. Luna, please, let me explain. Go ahead, she snapped. Explain why you used me. Explain why you exposed me like that. Explain why I became a joke on the internet. I didn't mean for any of that to happen, Oliver said, frustrated. I tried to protect you. Protect me? Luna laughed, sarcastic. You called me a social experiment on live TV. That's protecting me? It was a mistake, Oliver insisted. I was nervous and the words came out wrong. Luna looked into his eyes, searching for honesty. You used me, Oliver. Just admit it. There was a heavy silence. Oliver sighed, defeated. Yes, at first I used you, he admitted, his voice low. I wanted to get under Kimberly's skin. I wanted to prove I'd moved on. But what? Luna cut in, arms still crossed. But you changed everything, Oliver said sincerely. You weren't part of the plan. You were real. Luna felt something shift inside her, but she pushed the feeling away. Nice speech. Doesn't change the fact that I was deceived. She picked up her purse and turned to leave. But before going, she grabbed an empty soda can from Ethan's desk and tossed it at Oliver. The can flew through the air, hit him square in the chest and clattered to the floor with a familiar metallic sound. Oliver looked down at the can, and a sad smile crossed his face. I've missed that sound, he said, picking up the can. Luna stopped at the door, without turning around. For a second she almost smiled, but the anger was still stronger. Keep it, she said, walking out without looking back. Might be the only real thing left in all of this. Oliver stood frozen in the middle of the office, holding the can. Ethan came over cautiously. Boss, are you okay? No, Oliver replied, staring at the door Luna had walked through. But I will be. What neither of them knew was that an employee hidden near the door had snapped a photo at the exact moment Luna threw the can at Oliver. The picture captured the tension, the closeness, and something that looked very much like chemistry. Finding it funny, the employee posted the photo on social media with the caption, "Office couple fight. Cutest thing ever." The photo went viral in a matter of hours. Gossip sites picked it up and ran headlines like, "Millionaire and trash collector back together in secret." The comments poured in. "They're perfect for each other." One user wrote, "I'm rooting for this couple." Another added, "Finally, a real love story," said a third. Luna saw the photo after she got home. She was lying on the couch, exhausted, when Beth called, shouting, "Luna, did you see the picture?" "What picture?" Luna asked, grabbing her phone. Beth sent the link. Luna opened it and widened her eyes at the image of her and Oliver in the office. "I don't believe this," she muttered. "Is this for real?" "Everyone's talking about it," Beth said, excited. "You two are the couple of the moment." Luna threw the phone on the couch. "This is ridiculous." But deep down, a part of her couldn't stop looking at the photo, at the expression on Oliver's face, at the way he was looking at her. Maybe there was something real there, or maybe it was just another illusion. Across town, Oliver saw the photo too. Ethan showed it to him with an amused smile. "You two became a meme, boss." Oliver looked at the picture and for the first time in days gave a genuine smile. "Maybe this isn't such a bad thing," he said, thoughtful. "Maybe, just maybe, this whole mess could have a different ending." The photo went viral so fast that within 48 hours, Luna and Oliver became the most talked-about couple on the internet. Memes, edited images, even fan pages dedicated to the recycling couple popped up all over social media. Luna tried to ignore it, but it was impossible. Every time she opened her phone, there was a new post, a new comment, a new theory about their relationship. Beth was loving it. "You two are famous," she said, showing another funny photo edit. "This isn't good, Beth," Luna grumbled, closing the recycling cart. "I just want people to forget about me." "Too late, you're a celebrity now." Luna rolled her eyes. "Great. Always dreamed of being famous for throwing a can at someone." That's when Oliver showed up, 3 days later on the street where Luna worked. She was sorting bottles when she saw the imported car pull up. Her heart raced, but she forced a neutral expression. Oliver stepped out, adjusting his suit. "Hi. Hi." Luna replied without stopping her work. "Can I talk to you?" "You're already talking," Oliver sighed. "Luna, please, it's important." She finally stopped and looked at him. "What do you want, Oliver?" He stepped closer, choosing his words carefully. "I have a proposal." Luna crossed her arms. "Another one?" "Because the last one went so well. This one's different," Oliver assured her. "I need your help and you need mine." "What do you mean?" Oliver took a deep breath. "The media won't leave us alone. They want a story. So, let's give them one." Luna frowned, suspicious. "What kind of story? A fake relationship?" Oliver said quickly. "Just until the media forgets about us. Then we each go our own way." Luna blinked, processing what she heard. Then she started laughing. Really laughing. "You're kidding, right?" she said between laughs. "First you pay me to pretend to be your date, now you want me to pretend to be your girlfriend? You're addicted to this stuff." Oliver tried not to smile. "I know it sounds ridiculous." "Sounds? It is ridiculous." Luna interrupted, still laughing. "What's next? Fake wedding? Fake kids?" "Luna, please," Oliver said seriously. "I don't have anyone else to turn to, and you're struggling with this too." Luna stopped laughing, realizing he was right. The journalists' calls wouldn't stop. The comments online kept coming. She had no peace. "Fine," Luna said, thinking. "Let's say I agree. What do I get out of it?" Oliver had been waiting for that question. "Money. As much as you want." "No," Luna said firmly. "Not money." Oliver was surprised. "Then what?" Luna looked at the recycling cart, then at the streets around her. "I want to set up a community recycling center. A place where people can bring materials, learn about sustainability, that kind of thing." Oliver nodded, impressed. "That's noble." "I know," Luna said with a smile. "So, are you in or not?" Oliver held out his hand. "I'm in." Luna shook his hand, feeling the strength in his grip. There was something different in Oliver's eyes. Something that hadn't been there before. "But there are rules," Luna said, letting go of his hand. "No lies, no games, and when it ends, it ends." Oliver said. "And one more thing," Luna added, pointing at him. "You're going to help me at the center, not just sign a check and disappear." Oliver hesitated for a second, then smiled. "Deal." In the weeks that followed, Luna and Oliver were seen together in all sorts of places. Cafes, parks, restaurants. The media loved it. Headlines changed from "the woman who ruined the engagement" to "the most unexpected couple of the year." And surprisingly, it worked. People started rooting for them. The chemistry between them was undeniable, even in the candid photos taken by paparazzi. But something was changing. What started as pretend was becoming real. Their conversations got longer, their laughter more sincere, their glances more intense. Luna tried to ignore it, but it wasn't easy. Oliver could be funny when he wanted to, thoughtful in ways that surprised her, and there was a vulnerability in him she hadn't expected. Oliver, on his end, was completely taken. Luna challenged him, made him laugh, pulled him out of his comfort zone. She was everything Kimberly had never been. Real, honest, true. But not everything was a fairy tale. While Oliver and Luna built their fake relationship, Kimberly and Simon were scheming in the background. They hadn't forgotten the embarrassment at the engagement party. Simon was in his office when Kimberly walked in with a sly smile. "It's done." "What is?" Simon asked, looking up from his papers. "I got access to Oliver's company accounts," Kimberly said, sitting on his with help from a strategic contact. Simon smiled. "You're brilliant." "I know," Kimberly said confidently. "Now we just wait for the collapse." And the collapse came quickly. A few days later, Oliver was in his office when Ethan walked in, looking pale. "Boss, we've got a serious problem." "What is it?" Oliver asked, concerned. "The company's accounts? Something's wrong, very wrong." Oliver took the documents Ethan handed him and felt his stomach drop. Unauthorized transfers, frozen accounts, investors pulling out their money. It was financial chaos. "How did this happen?" Oliver asked, desperate. "I don't know," Ethan admitted. "But someone sabotaged the company from the inside." Oliver ran his hands over his face. Everything he had worked for was falling apart. His company, his reputation, his stability. Everything. He thought about calling Luna, but hesitated. She already had enough problems because of him. He didn't want to drag her into another mess. But Luna, with her sharp instincts, could tell something was wrong. Oliver was distant, tense, distracted. She decided to do something about it. That night, Luna called him. "Hey, Millionaire, are you okay?" "I'm fine," Oliver lied, trying to sound normal. "Liar," Luna said flatly. "You sound awful. I can hear it in your voice." Oliver gave a humorless laugh. "You know me too well." "Then tell me what's going on." Oliver sighed. "It's complicated, Luna. Business stuff." "All right, so here's the plan," Luna said, determined. "Tonight, you're going to forget about all of that. We're having dinner at your place. I'll cook." "You cook?" Oliver asked, surprised. "Sort of," Luna admitted, laughing. "But it'll be fun, I promise." Oliver smiled for the first time that day. "All right, I'll be waiting at 7. At exactly 7, Luna arrived at Oliver's apartment carrying grocery bags. He opened the door, still wearing a suit, and she laughed. "Take off that formal outfit." Luna said as she walked in. Tonight, we're cooking for real. Oliver changed clothes and came back to find Luna already exploring the huge kitchen. You have everything here and probably never used any of it. Guilty, Oliver said with a smile. Luna started preparing dinner, or at least she tried. She burned the first dish, left the second one undercooked, and nearly set fire to the third. Oliver laughed so hard he had to hold on to the counter. You're terrible at this, he said between laughs. I warned you, Luna said, laughing too, but I meant well. They ended up ordering pizza, but the time they spent together was perfect. They laughed, talked, and forgot about their problems for a while. When the pizza arrived, they sat on the couch. Luna looked at Oliver, noticing he seemed more at ease. Feeling better? She asked gently. Much better, Oliver replied sincerely. Thank you. They sat quietly for a moment. The air between them felt different, charged. Luna's heart raced as Oliver moved closer. Luna, he began, hesitant. Don't say anything, she whispered. And then, without thinking, without planning, they kissed. It was soft at first, unsure, as if they were both testing unfamiliar waters, but it quickly deepened, filled with everything they hadn't said. When they pulled apart, they were quiet, breathing heavily, trying to take in what had just happened. That was, Oliver began. Real, Luna finished, smiling. That was real. The next morning came with golden light streaming through the windows of Oliver's apartment. Luna woke up on the couch, covered with a soft blanket. It took her a moment to remember where she was. The kiss. The kiss had been real. She sat up, rubbing her face, trying to make sense of it all. Oliver walked into the room holding 2 cups of coffee, smiling in a way that made her heart race. Good morning, he said, handing her a cup. Good morning, Luna replied, taking the coffee. Thanks. They were quiet for a moment, the air between them still filled with the memory of the night before. About last night, Oliver began. It was nice, Luna interrupted with a smile. Don't overthink it. Oliver laughed. You always know what to say. It's a gift, Luna joked, sipping her coffee. She left a little while later, promising to come back soon. Oliver stood by the window, watching as she walked down the street, feeling something he hadn't felt in years. Hope. But hope didn't last long. As soon as Luna left, Oliver went back to his home office and opened his laptop. There was a new email in his inbox. The sender was unknown, and the subject line simply read, The truth about your company's collapse. Oliver frowned and opened the message. What he saw made his blood run cold. The email contained detailed documents showing suspicious transfers, irregular financial movements, and at the center of it all, one name, Luna Carter. According to the email, Luna had access to insider information through contacts she made while working at the Grand Lexington Hotel. The email suggested that she had been planted by Kimberly and Simon to get close to Oliver and sabotage his company from the inside. This can't be right, Oliver murmured, reading the documents again. But the evidence looked solid. Dates, amounts, even recorded conversations. Everything pointed to Luna. Oliver felt a tightness in his chest. He didn't want to believe it. But the doubt had been planted. He picked up his phone and called Luna. She answered cheerfully. Hey, miss me already? Luna, we need to talk, Oliver said seriously. His tone caught her off guard. Is everything okay? No, come over, now. Luna arrived half an hour later, confused and worried. Oliver was waiting in the living room, the laptop open on the coffee table. What's going on? She asked as she walked in. Oliver pointed at the screen. Explain this. Luna came closer and read the email. Her eyes widened as she realized what was being implied. You've got to be kidding, she said, stunned. You believe this? I don't know what to believe. Oliver shouted, frustrated. My company is falling apart, and suddenly this shows up linking you to everything. Oliver, I didn't do any of that. Luna said, her voice shaking with anger. I barely understand finance. How could I sabotage your company? But you know people at the hotel. You work there. Oliver insisted, desperate for answers. Luna stepped back as if she'd been slapped. You really think I'd do something like that? I don't know. Oliver yelled. I don't know anything anymore. The silence that followed was heavy and painful. Luna looked at him, a mix of hurt and disappointment in her eyes. I thought you knew me, she said softly. I thought yesterday meant something. Luna? But I was wrong, she interrupted, grabbing her bag. You're just like the others. The moment there's a doubt, you believe the worst about me. I just want the truth, Oliver pleaded. The truth is I didn't do anything, Luna shouted, tears finally falling. But you've already made up your mind, so it doesn't matter. She stormed out, slamming the door. Oliver stood frozen, his breathing heavy, his heart breaking. Part of him wanted to run after her, but another part was still trapped in the doubt that email had planted. In the weeks that followed, Luna completely cut Oliver off. She ignored calls, messages, any attempt to reach her. She threw herself into the community recycling center project. And to her surprise, the project began to come to life. People from the neighborhood volunteered to help. Small businesses donated materials. Public support grew naturally. Luna worked from sunrise to sunset, pouring all her pain and frustration into building something meaningful. Beth helped whenever she could. Are you okay? Beth asked one day while they were sorting bottles. I'm fine. Luna lied, giving a faint smile. Liar, Beth said, sitting next to her. You still care about him. Luna sighed. It doesn't matter. He doesn't trust me. Maybe he was just confused, Beth offered. Confused or not, he accused me. Luna said firmly. And that's not something I forgive easily. Meanwhile, Oliver kept investigating on his own. Something about the email didn't feel right. He hired a tech expert to trace the origin of the message. The answer came days later. The email had been sent from within Oliver's own company, from a specific computer. And once Oliver found out who had access to that machine, everything made sense. It had been a setup. Someone planted the evidence to frame Luna and drive them apart. Oliver felt a wave of guilt and regret. He had wrongly accused Luna. He doubted her when he should have trusted her. He tried calling again, but Luna didn't pick up. He went to her apartment, but she wouldn't open the door. She had cut off all contact. Desperate, Oliver decided to help her in another way. If she wouldn't accept him, maybe she'd accept his support for the project. He made anonymous donations to the recycling center, provided high-quality equipment, and connected Luna with influential people in the sustainability field. All behind the scenes using intermediaries so she wouldn't find out it was him. But Oliver missed her. Each day without Luna was harder than the last. Her laughter, the way she challenged him, her brutal honesty. He had thrown it all away because of a stupid doubt. Luna, meanwhile, tried to move on. The project was growing, and she should have been happy. But there was an emptiness she couldn't fill. One day, Luna got a call from a lawyer. He told her that the perfect piece of land for the recycling center was now available for purchase at an unbelievably low price. But who's selling it? Luna asked, suspicious. A company called Green Future Inc., the lawyer replied. They want to support sustainable projects. Luna looked up the company but couldn't find much. It seemed legitimate, so she decided to accept the offer. The land was perfect, spacious, well-located, ideal for the community center. But a few days later, while reviewing the official documents for the purchase, Luna noticed something odd. At the bottom of the pages, in small print, there was a clause about the company handling the transaction. She grabbed her phone and dug a little deeper. That's when she found it. Green Future Inc. was a shell company, and the real owner was tied to a familiar name, Oliver Grant. Luna felt her stomach turn. He had bought the land. He was behind it all. But why? To control the project? To have power over her? To make up for the accusation? The questions swirled in her mind, and the anger came rushing back. She grabbed her keys and ran out. She needed answers, and she needed them now. Meanwhile, Oliver was in his office, staring out the window, thinking about Luna when his phone rang. It was Ethan. Boss, we've got a problem. What is it? Oliver asked, tired. Luna found out about the land. Oliver closed his eyes. How do you know? Because she's on her way here, Ethan answered. And she doesn't look happy. Oliver sighed. He knew this moment would come. Now he had to explain. He had to make Luna understand that his intentions were good. But would she believe him? After everything that had happened, was there still a chance to make things right? The office door burst open, and Luna walked in, eyes blazing with anger and determination. We need to talk. Now, she said, arms crossed. Oliver swallowed hard. I can explain. Then explain, Luna challenged. Because this time I want the truth. All of it. Oliver stood from his chair, trying to find the right words. Luna stood in front of him, arms crossed, her eyes locked on his. I bought the land, Oliver admitted, but not to control you or manipulate you. Then why? Luna asked, her voice full of suspicion. Because I wanted to help you, he said sincerely. You had a dream, and I ruined it with that stupid accusation. I thought the least I could do was something good. Luna let out a dry laugh. You think money fixes everything, don't you? Buy some land, make a few donations, and suddenly everything's forgiven? No. Oliver defended himself. I don't want forgiveness. I just wanted to give you a chance to make your project happen. Without telling me? Without even asking? Luna's voice rose. Oliver, don't you get it? You can't just make decisions about my life. Oliver ran a hand through his hair, frustrated. I know I messed up, again, but I didn't know how to reach you. You blocked me everywhere. For good reason, Luna shot back. You accused me of destroying your company. You believed some random lie instead of trusting me. And I regret it, Oliver shouted, losing control. Every single day, Luna, but you never gave me a chance to explain. The room fell into a heavy silence. Ethan, standing at the door, quietly slipped out. Luna took a deep breath, trying to calm down. You know what hurts the most, Oliver? It's not even what you did. It's that, for a moment, I truly believed we had something real. And then you went and threw it all away. We did. We do, Oliver said, desperate. No, Luna said, shaking her head. We don't have anything. She turned to leave, but Oliver grabbed her arm. Luna, please. Let go of me, she said, not looking at him. Oliver let go. Luna walked out of the office without looking back. Days later, the most important charity event of the year was held in New York, the Green Future Gala, dedicated to sustainable projects. Luna had been invited to present her community recycling center. She was nervous. It was her first major public presentation, and the pressure was intense. Beth was with her, offering moral support. You're going to be great, Beth said, adjusting Luna's simple but elegant dress. I hope so, Luna murmured, looking around the fancy room. The event was packed. Business leaders, celebrities, environmental activists, all important people, all watching. Luna took a deep breath and stepped onto the stage when her name was called. The presentation started well. She spoke about the project, the importance of recycling, how small actions could change communities. The audience was attentive, interested. But then, in the middle of the crowd, Luna spotted Oliver. He was sitting at one of the front tables, staring directly at her. Seeing him shook her. Her words started to come out jumbled. She lost her train of thought, forgot parts of her speech. And then, without thinking, without any filter, Luna stopped talking about the project and pointed at Oliver. You know what? She said, her voice louder than she meant it to be. You want to know the truth about this project? The audience fell silent, confused. Oliver's eyes widened as he realized what was about to happen. The truth is this project almost never happened, Luna went on, her voice filled with emotion. Because that man, Oliver Grant, tried to sabotage everything by buying the property behind my back. A murmur spread through the room. Cameras turned toward Oliver. Flashes began to pop. Oliver stood up, trying to explain. Luna, it's not like that. Not like that, she cut in, stepping down from the stage. You bought the land without telling me. You tried to control my project. I was trying to help you. Oliver defended himself, his voice echoing through the room. Help me? Luna laughed bitterly. You don't even know what that word means. Chaos erupted at the event. Guests took photos, filmed videos, whispered to each other. It was a mess. Oliver tried to get closer to Luna, but she stepped back. No, stay away from me. She ran out of the hall, leaving Oliver standing alone in the middle of the crowd, completely humiliated. The cameras kept rolling, capturing every second. Beth ran after Luna and found her outside, crying. Luna? I ruined everything, Luna sobbed. I caused a scene in front of everyone. You were angry, Beth said, hugging her friend. But maybe you went a little too far. A little? Luna wiped her tears. I just humiliated him in public. Inside the venue, Oliver faced judging looks and whispers. He slipped out the back door, ignoring reporters trying to get a statement. In the car, he drove aimlessly, the humiliation burning like fire. Not because of the public scene, but because Luna truly believed he had tried to sabotage her. How had everything gone so wrong? The videos of the confrontation went viral within hours. Memes flooded the internet. Couple fight at charity gala became a trending topic. Funny edits, cruel comments, wild speculations. Luna saw some of the memes at home and wanted to disappear. "I'm a joke," she muttered, tossing her phone onto the couch. "You're not a joke," Beth tried to comfort her. "You just had a very public emotional moment." "Very public," Luna groaned in agreement. Then Beth's phone rang. She answered, and her expression changed. "Luna, you need to hear this." "What?" Beth put the call on speaker. It was a friend of hers who worked as an investigative journalist. "Beth, you won't believe what I found," the excited voice said. "That company that bought the recycling center land from Luna?" I dug deep. Luna leaned in, curious. "And what did you find?" "Green Future Inc. was created by Kimberly Thompson," the journalist revealed. "She used Oliver's name as a front, but she was the one behind it all." Luna felt a chill run through her. "What?" "Kimberly wanted to ruin Luna's reputation and drive her away from Oliver," the journalist explained. "She knew Luna would find out the land was tied to Oliver and think he was trying to control her. It was the perfect setup." Luna covered her mouth, horrified. "Oh my gosh." "And there's more," the journalist continued. "Oliver didn't even know about the purchase. It was all done using forged documents. He only found out later, when he tried to help Luna with real, anonymous donations. Then he confronted Kimberly and convinced her to give up and transfer the land to him. He ended up buying it from her for a very high price." Luna hung up the phone, her heart pounding. She had accused Oliver in public. She had humiliated him in front of hundreds of people. And he was innocent. "I need to talk to him," Luna said, grabbing her keys. "Now?" Beth asked. "Now," Luna confirmed, rushing out the door. She drove to Oliver's apartment, but there was no answer. She tried his office, but the receptionist said he wasn't there. She called dozens of times, but they all went to voicemail. Desperate, Luna called Ethan. "Ethan, where is he?" "Luna." Ethan's voice sounded tired. "He left town." "Left? Where?" "I don't know. He just said he needed to disappear for a while." Luna felt her legs weaken. "When is he coming back?" "He didn't say," Ethan replied. "But Luna, he was really broken. The public humiliation, the false accusation, it was too much." "I know," Luna whispered, the tears coming back. "That's why I need to talk to him." "If I hear anything, I'll let you know," Ethan promised. Luna hung up and stood in the middle of the street, lost. Oliver had disappeared, and she didn't know if she'd ever get the chance to say she was sorry. In the days that followed, rumors started spreading. Some said Oliver had left the country. Others claimed he had gone into complete isolation. No one really knew. Luna threw herself into her work at the recycling center, trying to distract herself from the guilt that was eating her up. But every can she picked up, every bottle she sorted reminded her of him, how they had met, how it all began, and now, maybe, how it all ended. Beth tried to cheer her up, but Luna was inconsolable. "I lost him," she said, staring into the distance. "And this time, it's my fault." The city kept moving, the days kept passing, but for Luna, time had stopped the moment Oliver disappeared. And she didn't know if she'd ever get the chance to fix what she had broken. 3 months later, autumn arrived in New York, bringing golden leaves and cooler air. Luna had changed. She looked more mature, more confident, but there was still a sadness in her eyes that she couldn't quite hide. The community recycling center had finally become a reality. After a long struggle, with donations from the community and support from small business owners, Luna managed to launch the project on a new piece of land, far from the previous complications. The place was simple, but welcoming. Light green walls, containers organized by material type, a small classroom for sustainability workshops. It was everything Luna had dreamed of, and more. She had turned the project into an official nonprofit, fully registered and recognized. The name was Recycle Hearts. "That name's kind of cheesy," Beth joked, helping sort bottles. "I know," Luna replied with a smile. "But it fits. We're not just recycling materials, we're recycling hope too." "Since when did you get so philosophical?" Beth teased. "Since I learned that life hurts, but we survive," Luna said, shrugging. The work kept Luna busy, but Oliver still crossed her mind. She wondered where he was, if he was okay, if she'd ever see him again. Ethan stayed in touch occasionally, but never said where Oliver was. "He needs time," was all he'd say. One day, Luna received an invitation to give an interview on a local TV show focused on social entrepreneurship. It was a great chance to promote the nonprofit and attract more support. "You have to go," Beth insisted. "It's the perfect opportunity. I'm not sure." Luna hesitated. "What if they ask me about Oliver?" Then tell the truth. Beth said firmly. You made a mistake, you learned from it, and you moved forward. Luna agreed. It was time to face the past. The interview was recorded in a small auditorium with an audience of about 50 people. Luna was nervous, but determined. She wore a simple yet elegant outfit, her hair down, and a shy smile on her face. The host, a woman named Claire Hayes, was known for asking direct but fair questions. Luna Carter, it's a pleasure to have you here. Claire said, smiling. Tell us about Recycle Hearts. Luna took a deep breath and began to speak. She explained how the project started, the challenges she had faced, the victories she had achieved. She talked about how recycling could change not just the environment, but lives too. The audience was attentive, engaged. Claire asked smart questions, and Luna answered with honesty. Then came the inevitable question. Luna, we all remember the incident at the Green Future Gala. Claire said gently, do you regret what happened? Luna felt a knot in her chest but didn't look away. Yes, very much. I let anger and pain take over, and I ended up hurting someone who didn't deserve it. Oliver Grant. Claire said, yes. Luna confirmed. I accused him unfairly, and to this day, I carry that guilt. Have you tried reaching out to him? Claire asked. I did. Luna answered, her voice trembling a bit. But he disappeared. And I don't blame him. After what I did, I would have disappeared too. The room fell silent, everyone hanging on her words. And if you could speak to him now, what would you say? Claire asked softly. Luna paused, thinking carefully. I'd say I'm sorry, truly, that he changed my life in ways he doesn't even know. And that, I hope he found peace wherever he is. What a beautiful message about forgiveness and new beginnings. Claire said, clearly moved. That's when a male voice echoed through the auditorium, coming from the audience. And what if the one who hurt you is here to ask for forgiveness in person? Luna froze. She knew that voice. She knew every tone, every inflection. The audience turned, searching for the source of the voice, and then they saw him. Oliver Grant, standing in the middle of the auditorium. But he looked different. No sharp suit. He wore jeans, a simple flannel shirt, worn-out sneakers. His hair was a bit longer, his beard unshaven. He looked more human, more real, and in his eyes, that same light from the first day they met. Luna stood up from her chair, her legs shaking. Oliver? He walked slowly toward the stage, his eyes fixed on her. The audience was completely silent, witnessing the moment. Hi, Oliver said as he stepped onto the stage. Hi, Luna replied, her voice barely a whisper. Claire, sensing how important the moment was, quietly stepped back, leaving them alone at the center of the stage. You disappeared, Luna said, tears starting to fall. I had to, Oliver admitted. I needed time to process everything. To understand who I really am, without the money, without the status, without the masks. And did you figure it out? Oliver smiled, that same little smile she loved so much. I figured out I'm an idiot who let the best thing in my life slip away. Luna laughed through her tears. You really are an idiot. I know, Oliver agreed. But I'm an idiot who's standing here in front of everyone, asking for forgiveness. The audience began to murmur, touched. Some people were already crying. Oliver, I'm the one who should ask for forgiveness, Luna said, her voice breaking. I humiliated you in public. I accused you without being sure. You were hurt, Oliver interrupted gently, and I gave you reasons to feel that way. I doubted you when I should have trusted you. I accused you without proof. I ruined everything. We both did, Luna said, smiling through tears. Then maybe. Oliver stepped closer and took her hand. Maybe we can fix it together. Luna looked at his hand holding hers. It was warm, steady, real. You really came back, she whispered, still taking it in. I did, Oliver said. And this time no lies, no contracts, no games, just us. Luna couldn't hold back anymore. She threw herself into his arms, hugging him tightly. Oliver held her, burying his face in her hair. The audience burst into applause. Claire wiped away her own tears. The cameras captured every second of that perfect moment. When they finally pulled apart, Luna looked at Oliver with a genuine smile. The first in months. You've changed. Better or worse? He asked, teasing. Different, Luna repeated, touching his face. More, you. I learned I don't need an expensive suit to be somebody, Oliver said. I just needed to be real. And you are, Luna said. Finally. Claire stepped forward, still emotional. Well, I think we just witnessed the most beautiful ending to an interview in this show's history. The audience laughed and clapped again. Luna and Oliver, both embarrassed and happy, waved to the crowd. Across town, in a luxury apartment, Kimberly Thompson was watching the live broadcast on TV. Her face was red with anger, and she gripped the remote so tightly her knuckles turned white. Simon was beside her, just as furious. "They got back together," he said in disbelief. "I can see that," Kimberly shouted, throwing the remote on the couch. "After everything we did, after all the scheming." "They're stronger than ever," Simon said, worried. Kimberly stood up, pacing like a caged animal. "No, I won't let this happen. I'm not letting it go." "What do you want to do?" Simon asked. Kimberly stopped, turning to him with a cruel smile. "I'm going to shut down this little recycling romance show once and for all." "How?" "I don't know yet," Kimberly admitted, grabbing her phone. "But I'll find a way. And this time, they're not getting back up." Simon nodded, though there was doubt in his eyes. Kimberly had gone too far, and he knew it. But he was in too deep to turn back now. Meanwhile, at the studio, Luna and Oliver walked out hand in hand, ignoring the cameras and curious glances. They had a lot to talk about, a lot to rebuild. But for the first time in months, both of them felt that maybe, just maybe, there was a real future waiting for them. A real future, one worth fighting for. The days following their reunion were the happiest Luna and Oliver had experienced in a long time. They talked for hours, rebuilding trust, laughing at memories, making plans for the future. Oliver had truly changed. He started helping out at the recycling center, learning how to sort materials, talk with the community, get his hands dirty. Luna loved seeing him like that, more human, more real. "You're starting to look like a professional recycler," Luna joked, watching him organize plastic bottles. "I learned from the best," he replied, smiling. Beth watched them from a distance, smiling with satisfaction. "Finally," she murmured. But the peace didn't last long. 3 days after the reunion, the internet exploded again. A video started circulating on social media, showing Luna supposedly receiving money from Simon during a secret meeting. The video looked real. The quality was good, the audio clear. In the video, Luna could be heard saying, "I'll do everything you tell me. Oliver won't suspect a thing." Luna watched the video at home and felt her world fall apart. "That's a lie," she shouted, throwing her phone onto the couch. "I never said that." Beth picked up the phone and watched it. "Luna, that's clearly edited. It's obvious, but people won't know that." Luna cried out, desperate. "They'll believe it." And they did. The comments were cruel, harsh. She only wanted his money from the beginning. What a scammer. Oliver is too naive. Oliver saw the video in his office. Ethan stood beside him, just as shocked. "This is fake," Oliver said firmly. "It's digital manipulation." "I know," Ethan agreed. "But we have to prove it." Oliver grabbed his phone and called Luna immediately. She answered, crying. "Oliver, I swear it's not true." I know," he interrupted gently. "I believe you, without a doubt." Luna felt her heart lift. "Thank you, but we need to put an end to this," Oliver said, determined. Kimberly and Simon went too far this time. "How? Leave it to me," Oliver promised. "I have a plan." In the following hours, Oliver worked non-stop. He hired forensic tech experts to analyze the video and prove it had been manipulated. He gathered every piece of evidence he had about Kimberly and Simon's schemes: forged documents, incriminating emails, suspicious bank transfers. Then, he did something bold. He called Claire Hayes, the host of the show where he had reunited with Luna. "Claire, I need a favor. A big one." Claire listened to his proposal and her eyes widened. "Are you sure about this?" "Absolutely," Oliver replied. "It's time to put an end to this circus." 2 days later, Claire announced a special live edition of the show, The Truth Behind the Recyclable Couple Scandal. The episode would be live, unedited, broadcast nationwide. Kimberly saw the announcement and grew nervous. "They don't have any proof," she told Simon, trying to reassure herself. "What if they do?" Simon asked, visibly worried. "They don't," Kimberly insisted, but doubt had already taken root. On the night of the broadcast, the studio was packed. Luna and Oliver sat side by side on stage. Claire, calm and professional as always, opened the show. "Good evening. Tonight, we reveal the truth behind the recent scandals involving Luna Carter and Oliver Grant." The camera zoomed in on Oliver, who began to speak. "I want to present evidence that we were the victims of a calculated scheme by Kimberly Thompson and Simon Hayes." The screen behind them displayed documents. Emails between Kimberly and Simon planning the sabotage. bank transfers proving bribes, recorded conversations where they discussed how to destroy Luna's reputation. The audience fell silent, taking in every detail. "And what about the recent video?" Claire asked. Oliver nodded to a technician who pulled up a forensic analysis on the screen. Experts confirmed that the video was digitally altered. Luna was never in that meeting. The footage was cut and edited from other sources. Luna, who had remained quiet until then, finally spoke. "You know what's sad? These people spent so much time and energy trying to destroy us, they forgot to live their own lives." The audience murmured in agreement. Then the show dropped a bombshell. Kimberly Thompson and Simon Hayes were invited to join us tonight to respond to the accusations. They accepted. The studio doors opened and Kimberly entered, followed by Simon. Both were impeccably dressed, trying to stay composed, but the tension was clear. "Well, look who finally showed up," Luna said sarcastically. "The stars of the show." Kimberly forced a smile. "These accusations are ridiculous. We had nothing to do with any of it." Oliver stood and held up an envelope. "Then explain this." He handed the envelope to Claire, who opened it and read aloud. "Transfer of $50,000 from Simon Hayes to a hacker known for creating deepfakes. Date, 3 days before the video was released." Simon turned pale. Kimberly tried to laugh, but the sound was strained. "That doesn't prove anything." "And this?" Luna held up another document. "Messages between you and Jennifer, your friend, planning exactly what she should say to drive me away from Oliver at the engagement party." The audience began to react, some booing Kimberly and Simon. "You spent months trying to tear us apart," Oliver said, his voice steady. "You sabotaged my company, slandered Luna, and spread lies, all because you couldn't accept that I moved on." Kimberly lost her temper. "You humiliated me," she shouted. "You left me for her." She pointed at Luna with contempt. Luna stood up calmly and walked over to Kimberly. "You know what's recyclable?" she asked with a sarcastic smile. Kimberly blinked, confused. "What?" "Your nerve," Luna answered. "Because that much audacity deserves to be reused for something useful." The audience burst into laughter and applause. Even Claire smiled, trying to stay professional. Simon tried to defend himself. "Look, things got out of hand." "They got out of hand when you decided to ruin people's lives out of revenge," Oliver interrupted. "And now you're going to pay for it." Claire turned to the camera. "I should inform you that, while preparing this show, all the evidence was sent to the proper authorities. The police are now investigating." Almost as if on cue, police officers entered the studio. One of them approached Kimberly and Simon. "Kimberly Thompson and Simon Hayes, you're under arrest for fraud, defamation, and corporate sabotage." Kimberly tried to argue, but the officer cut her off, reading her rights. Simon lowered his head, defeated. The audience watched in silence as the two were taken away in handcuffs. Luna looked at Oliver, who held her hand. "It's over," he whispered. "Finally," Luna replied, relieved. After the show ended and the cameras were off, Luna and Oliver stayed alone in the empty studio. The emotional exhaustion was clear on both of them. "I can't believe it's over," Luna said, sitting in one of the chairs. Oliver sat next to her. "It really is, and there's more." "More what?" "With the evidence we collected, my lawyers managed to trace the money Simon stole from the company," Oliver explained. "I'll recover a good part of the fortune I lost." Luna smiled. "That's great. But you know what's better?" Oliver asked, looking at her. "What?" "Having you here," he said sincerely. "Money can come and go. But you're one of a kind." Luna felt tears forming, but this time they were happy tears. "You're getting sentimental, huh?" "Your fault," Oliver joked. "You made me this way." They laughed, a soft, relieved, freeing laugh. All the weight from the last few months had finally lifted from their shoulders. "So," Luna began, "what do we do now?" Oliver thought for a moment. "We live. No lies, no fake contracts, no games. Just us," Luna added. "Just us," Oliver agreed, sealing the promise with a gentle kiss. They walked out of the studio hand in hand, ready to start over. This time with no shadows from the past, no hidden enemies, no traps. Just two hearts that had learned, the hard way, that true love is worth any battle. And that sometimes the best stories start with a crushed soda can in the wrong place. The weeks that followed were the calmest Luna and Oliver had ever known. No scandals, no schemes, no drama, just the simplicity of everyday life. Oliver had changed. The man who once wouldn't step outside without a suit was now wearing worn-out jeans and plain t-shirts. He showed up at the recycling center every day, not as a donor, but as an active volunteer. "Are you actually enjoying this, or just pretending?" Luna asked one day as they organized materials. "I'm enjoying it," Oliver answered honestly. "For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm doing something that really matters." Luna smiled. "Welcome to the real world, millionaire." "Ex-millionaire," he corrected, laughing. "Now I'm just Oliver." "I like that better," Luna said, touching his face. But Luna had something in mind. Oliver had changed, yes, but there was still a part of his old world that hadn't fully broken down. She wanted to test how far that change really went. "Hey, Oliver," Luna called out one sunny morning. "I have a challenge for you." Oliver raised an eyebrow. "What kind of challenge?" "You're going to spend the day collecting bottles with me on the streets," Luna said, crossing her arms. "For real, the way I do it every day." Oliver hesitated. "But I already help out here at the center." "That's not the same," Luna cut in. "Here you're inside, comfortable. I want you to feel what it's like to spend hours on the street, pushing a cart, looking for materials." Oliver looked at her and saw that daring sparkle in her eyes. He smiled. "All right, I'm in." "Really?" Luna seemed surprised. "Really? When do we start?" "Now," Luna said, tossing him a pair of gloves. They walked the streets of Manhattan with the recycling cart. Luna was used to it, but Oliver quickly found out the job was a lot harder than it looked. "Good grief, this cart is heavy," Oliver complained, struggling to push it. "You're pushing it empty," Luna laughed. "Wait till it's full." They stopped at the first trash bin. Luna showed him how to quickly sort out recyclable materials. Oliver tried to copy her, but fumbled with the gloves, spilling half the bottles on the ground. "That takes skill," he said, trying to defend himself while picking up the bottles. "It sure does. It's called coordination," Luna teased, laughing. As the day went on, Oliver grew more and more tired. The hot sun, the weight of the cart, the constant walking, it wore him down. He was sweating, stumbling, and complaining. "How many bins are left?" he asked out of breath. "About 20. Luna replied, calm and steady. 20. Oliver stopped in the middle of the sidewalk. "You do this every day?" "Every day," Luna confirmed with a smile. "Welcome to my world." Oliver looked at her with a new sense of admiration. "You're amazing." "I know," Luna said with a shrug, "but keep pushing. I'm not carrying this alone." By the end of the day, Oliver was completely worn out. His legs ached, his arms trembled, and every part of his body begged for rest. When they finally returned to the center to unload everything, he collapsed into a chair. "I'm going to die," he groaned, massaging his legs. Luna burst out laughing. "Don't be so dramatic, you're not going to die." "My muscles disagree," he said, closing his eyes. "Come on," Luna said, taking his hand. "Let's go to my apartment. You need real food." In Luna's small but cozy apartment, Oliver looked around with curiosity. It was simple, but full of charm. Photos on the walls, plants on the windowsills, and an organized mess. "I like it here," Oliver said, sitting on the couch. "It's small, but it's mine," Luna replied, heading to the kitchen. "And now you're going to cook." Oliver jumped to his feet. "Me? Cook?" "Yes, you," she confirmed, pointing to the ingredients on the counter. "We're making pasta. You can't mess it up." "Luna, I've never cooked pasta in my life." "Well, now's the time to learn," she said, handing him a pot. "First, fill it with water." What followed was like something out of a comedy. Oliver burned the first pot of water, overcooked the pasta until it turned into mush, and spilled tomato sauce all over his shirt. Luna laughed so hard she had to hold onto the sink. "How do you even burn water?" "I don't know," Oliver said, looking at the scorched pot. "It just disappeared." "Because you forgot to put the pasta in," Luna explained, still laughing. In the end, they gave up and ordered pizza. They sat on the couch, eating straight from the box, laughing at the disasters of the night. "I've never had so much fun cooking, or trying to cook," Oliver said, grabbing another slice. "You're terrible in the kitchen," Luna joked, "but you're funny." Oliver looked at her, his smile fading into something deeper. "Luna." She turned to him. "I think." Oliver took a deep breath. "I think I'm in love with you. Really in love, not just the pretend stuff from the contract. Not just attraction, it's more than that." Luna felt her heart race. She set the pizza down and took his hand. "Me too." "Really?" Oliver asked, his eyes lighting up. "Really?" Luna smiled. You annoy me, challenge me, make me laugh, and I'm completely in love with you." Oliver pulled her close and kissed her. It was different from the others, slower, deeper, more honest. It held everything they'd been through, all the struggles they faced, all the love they could finally admit. When they pulled away, they stayed cuddled on the couch, wrapped in a peaceful silence, just enjoying being together. "So this is it?" Luna asked, resting her head on his shoulder. "We're officially a real couple now?" "I think so," Oliver said, kissing the top of her head. "And I don't want it any other way." A few days later, Luna was at the recycling center when she got a call from the bank. Her heart raced as she heard the words, "large, anonymous donation." "How much?" she asked, barely believing it. $50,000, Miss Carter," the manager replied. The donation came from multiple sources, all anonymous, but they all referenced Mr. Oliver Grant in their messages. Luna hung up, stunned. She went to find Oliver, who was outside talking with a group of volunteers. "Oliver, can I talk to you?" she called. They stepped aside, and Luna told him about the donation. Oliver looked just as surprised. "That wasn't me," he said sincerely. "It wasn't my idea." "I know," Luna said. "The bank said it came from different people, but they all mentioned you." Oliver thought for a moment, then it clicked. "Must be people I helped in the past. Before all this, I had a few social projects, helped some families, small business owners." "And they gave back," Luna said, moved. "Oliver, you planted good things, and now you're seeing the harvest." Oliver smiled, touched. "I'd forgotten all about that." "But they didn't," Luna said, hugging him. "And look how it comes full circle." They stood there in each other's arms, realizing that love and kindness always find their way back, often when we least expect it, and that sometimes the greatest wealth doesn't come from bank accounts, but from grateful hearts and lives that have been changed. 3 weeks later, on a quiet afternoon at the recycling center, Oliver was clearly nervous. He kept fiddling with his pockets, glancing at Luna every minute, taking deep breaths like he was preparing for something important. Beth noticed and nudged Luna. "He's acting weird today." Luna looked at Oliver, who nearly knocked over a stack of bottles. "Yeah, he's kind of clumsy. Maybe he's gonna propose." Beth joked. Luna laughed. "Come on, we only just started dating for real." But Beth was right. At the end of the day, when all the volunteers had gone home, Oliver asked Luna to stay a little longer. He took her to the small garden they had planted next to the center, where wildflowers grew in pots made from recycled materials. "Luna, I need to tell you something," Oliver began, clearly nervous. "Are you okay? You've been acting strange all day," Luna said, concerned. Oliver took a deep breath and held her hand. "When we met, I was an empty man. Wealthy, but empty. I had everything and nothing at the same time." Luna listened in silence, her heart racing. "You came into my life literally by throwing a can at my car," Oliver continued, smiling. "And since then, you've turned my world upside down. You taught me what it means to be real, to love truly, to live with purpose." "Oliver," Luna whispered, her eyes starting to shine. Oliver got down on one knee and pulled a small box from his pocket. Inside was a simple but beautiful ring made from polished recycled metal with a small crystal in the center. "This ring was made from materials here at the center," Oliver explained, emotional, "because I wanted it to represent everything we've built together." "Luna Carter, will you marry me?" Luna brought her hands to her mouth, the tears finally falling. "Only if the wedding's different." Oliver blinked, confused. "Different how?" "No over-the-top luxury, no fake stuff," Luna said, smiling through the tears. "It has to be us, real, honest, and maybe a little crazy." Oliver laughed, relieved. "I wouldn't expect anything else." "So is that a yes?" "It's a yes," Luna said, jumping into his arms. Oliver slipped the ring on her finger, and they kissed, laughing and crying at the same time, surrounded by flowers and recycled materials that perfectly symbolized their own transformation. 2 months later, the wedding day arrived, and to everyone's surprise, the chosen venue was the Grand Lexington Hotel, the same place where Kimberly's engagement had taken place. "Are you sure about this?" Beth asked, helping Luna get ready. "Absolutely," Luna answered, adjusting her simple but elegant organic cotton dress. "We're going to give this place a new meaning. Turn bad memories into something beautiful." The ballroom was unrecognizable. Where once there had been cold, impersonal luxury, there was now warmth and creativity. The tables were made from reclaimed wood, decorated with brightly colored flowers made from recycled paper. Chandeliers were covered with artistically cut plastic bottles, creating a magical lighting effect. The guests were the perfect mix. Business people alongside recycling workers, high society folks chatting with members of the local community, volunteers from the nonprofit mingling with Oliver's former colleagues. "This is beautiful," Ethan said, touched. "Completely different from anything I've ever seen." The ceremony began with soft music. Luna walked in, accompanied by Tom, the grocer who always greeted her during her work mornings. There was no father present, but Tom had been like a father figure to her. Oliver stood at the altar wearing a simple but elegant suit, no tie, looking more like himself than ever. When he saw Luna walking in, his eyes filled with tears. She looked stunning, not because of her clothes or makeup, but because of the genuine glow in her eyes, the smile that lit up the entire room. When Luna reached the altar, she whispered to Oliver, "Don't cry, or I'll start crying too." "Too late," he replied, wiping his tears. The officiant, a kind older man who also volunteered at the nonprofit, began the ceremony with words about love, new beginnings, and transformation. Then came the moment for the vows. Oliver went first. "Luna, you recycled my heart." He began, filled with emotion. "You took a broken, empty man and turned him into someone who finally knows what it means to live. You taught me that a person's value isn't in their bank account, but in their actions. And I promise to spend the rest of my life making you laugh, supporting you, and sorting the trash properly." The audience laughed, moved. Luna wiped away her tears, trying to hold it together. "My turn," she said, taking a deep breath. "Oliver, you found me while I was collecting trash, and somehow made me feel like I was a treasure. You learned how to sort through emotional garbage, to let go of what no longer serves you, and to value what truly matters. And I promise to love you through every kitchen disaster, through every clumsy attempt at being simple, and through every moment, whether easy or hard." Oliver smiled, deeply moved. "I love you." "I love you too," Luna replied. "Then by the power vested in me, I now pronounce you husband and wife," the officiant announced. "You may kiss the bride." Oliver didn't waste a second. He pulled Luna into a deep kiss as the guests erupted in applause and joyful cheers. Some tossed petals made of recycled paper, creating a colorful shower. The celebration that followed was magical. Simple but delicious food, live music, and genuine laughter. There were no social barriers, just people celebrating love. At one point, Luna and Oliver made their way to the dance floor. She kicked off her shoes, and he did the same. Barefoot, they danced, laughing and spinning, completely lost in each other. "Who would have thought we'd make it here?" Luna said, resting her head on his chest. "I knew it," Oliver said, joking. "Liar," Luna teased, laughing. "You thought I was crazy." "And you are," Oliver agreed. "But you're my crazy." As they danced, an aluminum can rolled across the floor from some corner of the hall. It passed right by their bare feet, catching the glow of the colorful lights. Oliver and Luna stopped dancing for a second, looked at the can, and burst out laughing. "That's how it all started," Luna said, pointing to it. "And look where we are now," Oliver added, picking up the can and slipping it into his pocket. "I'm keeping this forever." They went back to dancing, laughing, happy, completely free. Around them, the guests watched with emotion, witnessing a love that had survived scandals, schemes, humiliation, and doubt. A love that had been tested, broken, and rebuilt. Stronger, truer, more beautiful. When the night ended and the guests had gone, Luna and Oliver were left alone in the empty hall. They sat on the floor, still barefoot, looking around. "It was perfect," Luna said, resting her head on his shoulder. "It was real," Oliver corrected her. "And that's better than perfect." Luna smiled, closing her eyes. "I love you, husband." "I love you, wife," Oliver replied, kissing the top of her head. And there, sitting on the floor of a hall decorated with recycled materials, surrounded by transformed memories and renewed hopes, they understood a simple but powerful truth. True love is what turns pain into laughter, mistakes into lessons, and chance encounters into timeless stories. What did you think of Luna and Oliver's story?
Join the conversation. Your comments and engagement are part of the healing process. Let us know your thoughts below. If this journey of resilience and turning pain into power resonated with your heart, please support Healing Stories. Subscribe. Help us build a sanctuary of strength by subscribing to the channel. Share the hope. Give this video a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this message of recovery and justice. Your support allows us to continue sharing powerful narratives of overcoming trauma and finding peace. Subscribe to Healing Stories and be part of the change.